Discover Your Health is brought to you by Trade Winds Citrus Limited.
Fresh juice only comes from freshly squeezed Jamaican oranges, never frozen.
Over the summer months, many parents lamented the length of book lists, saying that they were forced to buy too many books. Now that school has started, children will be the ones forced to take these books to school. For some children, this might mean taking all these books to school every day. Chiropractor Dr. Neil Gardner says that this is not a good idea, as this might cause irreparable damage to a child's spine.
What we're seeing now, we're seeing children with 3 or 4 major textbooks, plus their notebooks, their exercise books, and so on. So our children are being weighed down with more and more weight for the books. So that's a concern for us.
Some common problems and symptoms associated with backpack injury include neck pain, upper, middle, and lower back pain, numbness radiating along the arms to the fingers, shoulder pain, and headaches from upper back and neck tension.
Some of these children, they're wearing their knapsacks or their backpacks, the cool way that the guys wear it slung over one shoulder. So if you're putting excess weight, and women, ladies, on their handbags, it's the same thing. Excess weight on one shoulder causes you to now be putting a lot of pressure on the spine, causing these muscles to have to react, and these postural muscles are now reforming. And if you do this day in, day out, 5, 6, 20 years, over time, you will start having those effects in your spine.
Improper use of backpacks, along with injuries and other trauma, can cause a spinal condition known as vertebral subluxation complex. This is a malaligned vertebra which causes irritation to nerves exiting the spine. This can lead to postural distortions and ultimately pain.
Not wearing the backpack on one shoulder is very important. You're given 2 straps and put each arm through the straps. Make sure that the straps are padded. You have some very thin strapped bags, and those put excess pressures on the areas that they contact the skin. So you want a nice padded shoulder strap. You want a bag that also hangs low enough. You want the bag to hang in the bottom part of the bag to be around at the level of the small of the back, just about above the bottom line, just on the small there, so that some of the weight of the backpack is actually transferred to your hips as opposed to fully on your shoulders. So having a bag that hangs a little bit lower, not below your bottom, because that is too much, that's too low. Now the entire load is on your shoulders. So tighten it just above the small of the back and have a waist strap. If your bag has a waist strap, tie it around your waist so that the bag hugs snugly against your back.
Research has suggested that a child's backpack should not exceed 10 to 15% of their weight. That is, if your child weighs 100 pounds, then the weight of his or her backpack should not exceed 15 pounds.
Weigh your children's bags. When you have your child loaded up, getting ready for school, and we're back to school fever now, if you have a little bathroom scale, take the knapsack off, put it on the scale, see how much it weighs. This is very important so we can have an idea, because sometimes we don't really have a good sense of how much weight our children are carrying around day in and day out.
In order to prevent back injuries, parents should pay close attention to how the books are packed in the bag.
Some textbooks are going to be heavier than others. Put the heaviest ones closest to the back and the smaller books further out. Also put the heavier items toward the bottom of the bag. Some bags have compartments. Utilize those compartments so that you can really put the heavy books on the middle portion, and your pencils and geometry sets, your dictionaries can go in the other auxiliary areas so that you have the heaviest weight against your back snugly. So don't ever have the heavier books further away from you. Keep it as close to your back as possible.
Diagnosing a potential spinal injury before it's too late is critical to increasing the chances of a full recovery. The chiropractor says a lot of spinal injuries he's seen in adults during his practice started at an early age.
Most parents or adults, they have a lot of problems. I see a lot of people with some severe degeneration in their spine. You would expect that they are in their 60s or 70s, but these people are in their 30s and 40s. And we ask ourselves, Why is it that we're seeing so much degeneration, especially in the thoracic spine, which is the mid-back region, the neck areas? We're seeing so much degeneration occurring. What we're failing to realize is that the problems that many adults have, they actually had these problems when they were children. And so these problems have been with them for 15, 20 years. And if you have a problem as a child and carry that throughout 20 years, then we see how degeneration or arthritis in your spine can result.
It is important for parents who suspect that their child has a spinal or back problem seek intervention early.
Discover Your Health was brought to you by Trade Winds Citrus Limited.
Fresh juice only comes from freshly squeezed Jamaican oranges, never frozen.